Those kids were amazing. They lent into that world, and we're out in the, albeit manufactured desert, but it was a desert and it was hot and there wasn't much shade or wind. And those kids just turned in take after take and got more and more, got funnier and funnier with the way that they were doing it.
My first question is for Maya, which is, you came into this film in a world where the Wes Anderson aesthetic is so well known that there are like memes about it. I'm wondering, like, did that color at all how you thought you should approach your character?
I only started noticing the memes or seeing them when I started doing press about this movie and everyone started asking me about them. I'm not like cool or up on the trends. I had no idea. So the only thing that colored my experience of joining this team was the films I'd seen in the past. And I think that was a perfectly fine thing to have color them.
Rupert, I know you've played guitar on film before, but you had to learn lap steel for this, I believe. Was that the most difficult part of preparing for your role?
It was the most daunting, that's for sure. I think playing music live, as Maya does, is a thing that probably, I would hope, gets a bit more easy if you do it a lot. If you've never done it, it's like public speaking. It has this weird kind of dread around it, certainly for me. But in the end, the other musicians in the cowboy band were so welcoming and collaborative and helpful that it was fine. It was definitely daunting, yeah.
I'm gonna keep bouncing back and forth, but I noticed in watching this that you're one of the few actors I think who have worked with Wes Anderson and Quentin Tarantino, which is really cool.
Is that true?
I think the only other two I saw were like Bruce Willis and Harvey Keitel.
Wow, what interesting company.
Yeah, good company.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool.
But they both have such specific like visions. Clearly, I'm just curious how you would compare kind of both of those experiences.
What they share is specific vision, clarity of self-expression, excellent writing, and the joy of filmmaking. And they also share a privilege of being one of the very few directors who have the budget, space, and opportunity to make art films on a grand scheme. And so that's kind of what they have in common, but they are very different. Like Wes is very monk-like, and Quentin is very wild. And so their on-set energy is really different, but fundamentally they have the same goals that I think most auteurs have, and the same things in common, which is an extreme passion for their work.
Rupert, I mean, maybe you can both speak to this, but I love the scenes you two have together, especially with, you work with this bunch of kids who are all really funny as well. I'm curious just about the atmosphere and shooting those. They're so much fun to watch. Were they fun to film?
Yeah, I mean, those kids were amazing. They lent into that world, and we're out in the, albeit manufactured desert, but it was a desert and it was hot and there wasn't much shade or wind. And those kids just turned in take after take and got more and more, got funnier and funnier with the way that they were doing it. And then would just get up and let loose with the dancing scene. And they were just up for it, in the way that when kids get into a game and they just commit and say, let's just go, go, go. They did that with this.
Thank you both so much for doing this. It's great to talk to you. The movie is awesome. Congrats.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.